What's your favorite scary movie?
Pop Culture with Pat here with Madison and Orion talking about The Conjuring Last Rites. Great to meet you guys, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having
Great to
us.
meet you. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course, yeah, super excited to talk about this huge franchise and what is kind of supposed to be the swan song, at least for now, for the Conjuring franchise. So, can both of you guys kind of talk about what it was like just kind of stepping into these shoes of these iconic characters? And did you have any conversations with Vera or Patrick about the characters as well? And we'll start off with you, Madison.
Yeah. I was so elated and excited to find out that I was going to be joining this universe. But like you mentioned, it's big shoes to fill, and I definitely wanted to do Lorraine justice for Vera and for Lorraine. And yeah, I mean, Vera and Patrick were so supportive and so helpful for us, and we're just open books. They were like, ask any questions. If you have any thoughts, you can bounce them off of me. Vera showed me how to do the rosary wrapping around the hand. She was just incredible and super supportive and really instilled a sense of ownership for me too. She's like, you're here for a reason. This is also yours. And yeah, she had my back.
And that must have made both of you guys, I'm sure, feel great too, just knowing because it's hard coming into a franchise after these guys have been working together for so long and feeling that open collaboration with them, I'm sure.
Yeah, Orion, you
Yeah.
can.
I
Yeah.
mean, no, absolutely. I think like especially the first time I met with Patrick, like we were meeting to just talk about the role. And I remember being like, this is crazy. Like meeting him, trying to like talk about this massive role that he has so successfully created over so many movies. Um, just trying to figure out how to do that was so daunting. And I was worried he was going to be like, protective, not like in his own right, like to be protective of the role. He's done it for so long, but it was totally just out of the gate, so welcoming, so like, like, no, you got it. Trust your instincts. You'll be okay. And it was
Yeah.
just the best thing to hear from him.
And what do both you guys find interesting about these characters just in general? And this time we'll start with you, Orion.
Yeah, I mean, what interesting people, right? To like not only do a character that is um has been portrayed, by Patrick, but also who is a real person. It's this like multi-fold creation of a character. And yeah, to spend your life dedicated to demonology and to the paranormal and just researching these characters as people, what just like interesting human beings. And then also just getting into their relationship and what Patrick and Lorraine, Ed and Lorraine were like together, and how Patrick and Vera have created that. It was just so cool to explore.
What about
Yeah,
you, Madison?
to echo all of that, I think what is so fun for me about this franchise and these films is the depth of their relationship, and it really feels like they found their perfect counterpart. And there's this really deep, powerful love story amidst all of this horror and chaos and scariness. And I think exploring that relationship and their depth and their support for each other, like they have each other's back so much. And I think for me, that's so lovely and interesting to exist amongst the horror universe as well. And exploring that was really fun.
How does your guys' approach to portraying a character that's based off a real life actual person compared to maybe some of the other roles that you've done as well, if at all? Because maybe it doesn't change at all. But I'm curious if that for you, and we'll start with you, Madison.
Yeah, I think it's a different kind of research. You're not building something from the ground up. You're really watching, observing, reading, and taking in information. And for me, Vera had obviously just done such an amazing portrayal of Lorraine. So a lot of it was watching Vera's work too, because no one knows Lorraine more than she does. So just studying the way that the choices she makes as Lorraine for me was a big part of the process, and trying to not only get into Lorraine's headspace, but then Vera's sort of point of access into the character was my approach.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I think performing a character who's a real person is totally a new approach because there's so much out there, especially about this couple. There's so much footage, there's so many interviews, there's so many cases that you can research and look into. And a big part of it was doing that. And even like just trying to get into their headspace, but then also from the perspective of watching the movies, watching the movies and seeing who they are in this franchise and really trying to do that justice to the best of my abilities.
And can you guys kind of talk about too, just I guess overall getting to be a part of this franchise, but the film that at least for now is the farewell to these characters, but just getting to be a part of this legacy of films that's had not only the main Conjuring films, but you've had a whole spin-off universe as well.
Yeah, I think it's an honor, and I think it's really exciting, and I think horror fans are the best, and I love people's enthusiasm behind the entire universe that has been created. I think being a part of it is incredibly special, and I'm so grateful to be here.
I totally agree, especially for the like culmination movie that like you're talking about. Like so much has come into this, and like there's so many different things that are leading up to this point, and just being a part of that is especially exciting.
There's so many nuggets in this too that I think fans of the entire franchise are going to really appreciate and love when they see it.
Can't
Yeah.
wait to check that out. And I'm curious for both of you guys too, kind of what was your relationship coming into this franchise with the world of the paranormal, and has that changed at all for you since working on the film?
Mm. I think I've always kind of been I don't know. That's really been my thing. Is like if there was someone out there, like I would not be surprised. I've never had a crazy paranormal experience, like I've never been through something that's like been like, wow, this is really it. This is happening. But I will say going through it, there was one day that when I was studying the characters and I was going through the Warren's case and everything, and I had like gotten a rosary for the role, and I was like doing the rosary every night to be like, all right, yeah, this is what Ed would do. And one of the nights, like I could not sleep for the life of me, and I turned on the lights, and never before had I had the experience of like it really feels like something's watching me or like something's here that is beyond me. And so I like hold my rosary tight and was like, all right, I'm gonna make it through this. Here we go.
I'm ready to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I mean, sort of same. I think when you're approaching something like this, you start to notice different things in your day to day. And I think overall, the energy shift is tangible. I couldn't sleep while we were shooting, and I'm like, I don't know why exactly, but my mind was racing. And I think you're picking up on different energies when you're sort of preparing for something that exists in this world. And actually, Orion tells this story best, but we had this interesting experience on our one of our first days of shooting. It was the first take of our first scene, and right in the middle of the take, there was this moment of silence, this long beat, and then a door behind us, which was not scripted, not planned, and no one was touching it, just swung open. And we all just were like, whoa, and goosebumps everywhere. And it was freaky and totally unplanned. And everyone stopped and was like, okay.
Yeah.
That was
I,
weird.
I love that because I was going to follow up with you guys and ask if there was any specific experiences while you're working on, because especially I feel like working on a film where you're dealing with possession and demons and all that stuff. If anything creepy happens, so it sounds like both of you guys kind of had an experience on and offset for the film.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that door was wild. I will say that was such a crazy experience. They
We
like
just
had
looked
to
at each
put a
other like,
sandbag behind it. And it was like, well, what's happening? Yeah.
Well, I mean that I feel like there's nothing like that to get you guys really immersed in the world and just, feel like you're actually part of it than having something like that happen.
Mhm.
As far as the whole universe for both you guys too, what creature or item is the thing that kind of creeps you out most about the franchise?
most recently, Annabelle. I think there's been all of these stories right now circulating about the Annabelle doll, and and different people having strange interactions after coming into contact with the Annabelle doll. So currently on my I'm most scared of this artifact list is the Annabelle doll.
That's a great answer. Honestly, like the stuff that's happening like real world with Annabelle doll right now is super crazy. I think
Yeah.
the thing that keeps me up most at night is the nun. Like the darkness, like is something there, is something not there? And then like are there eyes? What is that? And then all the moments in the movies when all of a sudden the nun rushes you, it's like, okay, that's gonna happen to me in real life and it's gonna be horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I was recently at the theater and I saw the popcorn bucket that they have for this film with Annabelle, at least the one that's around me. It has her kind of holding a like a popcorn bucket. She's sitting down, and my girlfriend, she had looked at it and she said, "Absolutely not. That's not coming home."
Not coming in my house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the guy too, the demon in this film, the one that where he looks at the camera and he just has that kind of that creepy smile to him. I feel like that's another thing that's going to add just be nightmare fuel for a lot of people after seeing this movie as well.
100%.
Absolutely, yeah.
What for you guys too makes this The Conjuring Last Rites stand out for you guys personally among the franchise?
I think we're getting, I think the through line through all of the Conjuring films is the relationship and the family at the core, the Warrens. They're like the core and the heart of the film. And I think for this, you get a kind of a better understanding of the family dynamic. And obviously their daughter has a bigger part in their story in this film. And I think it's really going to be satisfying for fans to kind of have a really foundational understanding of who the Warrens are and the next generation.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think I mean, definitely, gonna be a lot of scares and like for sure through there, this case is crazy. But yeah, to what Madison's saying, like both as us as the younger versions, seeing their daughter, just like really understanding who they are more than ever before.
And what is it about the horror genre that makes it such a attractive genre to work in as actors for both of you guys?
I think what I love so much about horror is the stakes are so high and you really get to go to an 11 and everything is, it's written and filmed and shot and elicit a response. And so I think it's so fun to be in a high stakes environment and high stakes scenes where you just get to go to your peak and go to your max. And as an actor, to take it to that extent is really, it's fun. I mean, it's exhausting and scary and all of these things, but it's a blast.
I totally agree. I think, act like through acting classes and coaches, like they're always talking about like the stakes. Like, what are the stakes right now? What's going on? And in horror movies, oftentimes it's literally life and death. So there is no holds bar. Like, what would you do in that situation if you genuinely thought like your life is on the line or just the stakes are that high? Uh, it's very fun to act, very difficult to act, but a really incredible time.
But it's such a fun ride too, especially to share it with an audience at the
Yeah.
theaters, just to kind of go through that experience with everyone. And just to wrap things up for you guys, is there anything else that you'd kind of like just to say about your experience of working on this film, and what do you hope fans kind of take away with the experience that they see it in theaters?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. Um, I mean, I think again, just going back to like being a part of this franchise and being a culminating movie, so much just like came together to make this happen and to be like what it is. I'm so excited to see how audiences respond to it and seeing it from a script to being on set to, I mean, talking with Michael Shaw's, like just seeing his vision and seeing how that has panned out through the creation of the movie. Yeah, I'm just really excited for audiences to see it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And to continue that too, I just feel like this is such an audience film because you want to take that ride with people, and this world is so big, and I feel like the scares are so epic, and it's going to be an IMAX, and I feel like it is just something to be shared. I'm so excited to share this experience with people in the audience because it's just you're taking the ride together.
And it's coming out in the perfect time too, because I know for me, and I know some people are probably like, all right, you're getting things started a little too early, but for me, September is the kickoff of spooky season,
100%.
so it's getting things
100%.
started off on the right note for sure.
I
Yeah,
agree.
exactly.
Well, Madison and Orion, I just want to say thank you guys so much for your time today. It was wonderful getting to meet you and talk to you about the film. Congratulations, and yeah, hopefully talk to you guys again soon.
Thank you so
Nice.
much.
Thank you
This
so
felt
much,
great.
Pat. Pleasure being here.